We'll bring it to you here on the show, but Erol Morkoc is with me. He's a spokesperson for Republicans overseas. And Erol, I understand you knew Charlie well, is that right?
Yes, to a degree. You have to understand how young Charlie was when he was murdered at 31. I met Charlie back for the first time in 2016 in Berkeley. We were just boys, and then when I got the brief honor to work with him in London when he launched Turning Point UK, and I played a small role in that. Now he brought me with him as a friend to Mar-a-Lago, and actually at his Turning Point event there is where I met my fiance, who I'm getting married to in December because of Charlie Kirk. So he's somebody who he's touched so many people's lives, and so many people call him friend and have worked with him, and you got to keep in mind how young he was when he was killed, and just so how terrible it is.
For people who are not necessarily engaged, with politics in the United States, their algorithm doesn't throw this type of stuff in their direction. How would you describe him? What were the values that he held dear?
Well, above all else, Charlie Kirk believed that his soul was saved eternally by Jesus Christ, and he was a man of absolute and complete faith, and that was very uncommon for young people of any ilk anywhere. It's definitely not a common thing, but he wasn't a holy roller. He didn't come around and preach at you if you didn't want to hear that. He was a man of principled debate, and above all, he was a free speech warrior, and almost in a ethereal sense, a civil rights activist for the concept of free speech, which is a civil right in the United States. And he will go no matter what, and he would try to debate the left, quote unquote the left, not even the left, just debate the opposition on their terms in their world, whether that was in Oxford or whether that was on college campuses. He came for debate. You might not have liked how he did it, and you might not have liked the fact that he certainly did the rage baiting thing, just like everybody and young people did in the world of media. I was there. We were all there. But Charlie was in the trenches with young people, especially with young men in America who felt disaffected. And when Charlie went out there, he gave people courage. When I showed up to universities, the culture war was over, and we had lost. At least if you were there, Charlie didn't see it that way. Charlie showed up, and he had a relentless optimism, relentless belief in the human being, a relentless belief in the people who hated him and disagreed with him. And people might think I'm just talking him up, but that was genuinely how he felt, and that's how he lived his life. And if you go back and you listen or watch anything he said, one of the things he always talked about was that he wanted people to have these dialogues because the alternative was going to be violence. And oftentimes people would say, "What do you mean violence? From who?" And he would, try to explain, and they would say, "Well, there's no violence." Well, today it's been proven that violence is there, and that hate is there, and the fact that they won't listen to dialogue. And I don't mean they to castigate a broad spectrum, but whatever that term means, there's a problem with listening to our side of the viewpoint, because the person pulling the trigger is the aggressor. The person giving the speech is never the aggressor, no matter what the speech is.
Erol Morkoc is a spokesperson for Republicans overseas. Erol, thanks a million for joining us. And like I say, as soon as there's further updates from the States on that manhunt, we will bring them to you here on the show. Business